Four retired senior women living together in a Florida home. Arguably one of the best sitcoms of all time, The Golden Girls. The witty interaction of each character makes for lots of laughs, but the reality of their living conditions was based on decisions and events in their working lives. Blanche is a Southern belle from a wealthy family, and she owns the home. Dorothy is a teacher from New York who was divorced when her husband left her for a young flight attendant. Rose is a widow from St. Olive, Minnesota. And Sophia is Dorothy's mom. Born in Sicily, she fled to New York to flee an arranged marriage. And then she moves into the house after her nursing home has a fire. Hey, this is Rochelle, and welcome to Multiple Passive Streams of Income. So, how will you live in retirement? Life events and life decisions will heavily influence what you can afford and for how long. What will your income look like in retirement? Will you be able to afford the same lifestyle, or will you have to downsize? Initially, your funds may look doable, but what if you live 30 years or more after you retire? Can your nest egg continue to afford the same lifestyle? I came across this video the other day, and as I approach retirement, I don't want to solely depend on Social Security, a pension, and deferred comp to fund my retirement, because we don't know how long we're going to live. So this video intrigued me to learn more about the wheel strategy, which this YouTuber Jake Bro titled How to Retire with $437,000, the wheel strategy. Now, can this be a way to utilize my retirement money to create monthly income so I don't erode the principal over time? The wheel strategy entails selling cash secured puts, which generates a credit which is paid to you. Eventually, the put may be exercised, which entails you having to buy the shares at a strike price. And once that happens, you then sell covered calls against those shares, which generates a credit which is paid to you. Eventually, the call is exercised, which means you have to sell your shares at a strike price. Now, at this point, you're back to square one. So you just repeat the process, rinse and repeat. When markets move sideways and up, this strategy is easily profitable. But when the market drops, that's when the strategy needs adjustments to remain consistently profitable. So let me repeat that. When the markets move sideways and up, this strategy is easily profitable. But when the market drops, that's when the strategy needs adjustments to remain consistently profitable. So let's look at an example. I'm going to use the SPY to demonstrate the wheel strategy. To backtest and demonstrate this strategy, I created a spreadsheet just to get a sense of how the SPY moves from month to month, from option period to option period. And on the day after each monthly SPY option expired in 2021, I looked at the price of SPY at 10 a.m. on that day. I also looked at the lowest price and the highest price of SPY during each option period. I calculated the difference between the 10 a.m. price and the low price of each option period. I did the same with the 10 a.m. price and the high price of each option period as well. And lastly, I noted the closing price of SPY on the day of expiration. Now, looking at the low and high difference columns gives me a picture of how the price expanded in both directions during each option period. The closing data shows me how the SPY had very little reversal in price during 2021, which is perfect for the wheel strategy. This part 1 video is going to demonstrate the wheel strategy. In part 2, I'm going to look at when the wheel strategy can get into trouble and possible adjustments that can be made. So the rules of this back test goes as follows. I'm going to be showing you the trades on the SPY SPY. The trade is going to be initiated on the first day of the monthly option at 10 a.m. We're going to have at least $100,000 in our trading account. And remember, when we retire, many people are going to retire with 401ks, deferred comps, and similar retirement vehicles that probably are going to have $100,000 or more in them. So this is not something that's inconceivable. We are going to be trading one contract for the illustration, and we're going to be picking our strike prices. We're going to choose them by the 25 delta. The real strategy begins with cash secured puts. Determining the put strike price for our cash secured put trades will be different from person to person. Some people do technical analysis to determine a strike price. Some people use delta to determine a strike price, and there's many other techniques. But again, for this video, we're going to use the strike price at 25 delta. Now let's take another quick look at the 2021 SPY, and as you can see, the SPY steadily increased in price all year. So let's see how the wheel strategy would have performed in 2021 with our backtest rules, and can we make monthly trades to create monthly income. Now, on December 21st, 2020 at 10 a.m., the price of SPY was $364.78. Choosing a strike price on the SPY monthly January 15th option of 348, we chose that because that was the strike price that had 25 delta. The price of SPY never goes below the strike price of 348, so the put expires worthless. So to make this trade, we would have needed $34,800 in our account. And that's calculated by taking the strike price and timesing it by 100 shares. So 348 times 100 is 34,800. And the strike price of 348 was giving us a $4 credit. So $4 times 100 shares, we would have received $400 for making this trade. And keep in mind, you keep the $400 no matter what the result of the trade is. So if the put expires worthless, you keep the $400, and if the put is exercised, you keep the $400. In this case, because the lowest price during December 21st through January 15th was $362.03, this option never decreased below the 348 strike price, so the put expired worthless. This put trade worked similarly in all months until November. On the screen, I'm flashing the details of each of these months, and you can pause the video if you want to examine the specifics of each month. But what we did, like the first demonstration, is we selected the 25 delta strike price, we entered into a cash secured put, and we did it for every option period, monthly option period in 2021. So from January through October, the option price never decreased below the 25 delta strike price selected. So all the SPY cash secured put trades expired worthless, and we were able to keep all of the premiums from all of those trades without having to make any adjustments. The only date where the price traveled below the 25 delta strike price was on March 4th. And it was so brief that the option would not have been exercised. So when the market consistently moves up, the wheel strategy is fantastic, as you can see. But in November, the SPY price dipped, and it dipped and rebounded for 5 consecutive days. In part 2 of this video series, we're going to explore what adjustments can be made. But as you can see, all the trades in 2021 up through November would have allowed us to profit $4,357. And the most we would have needed to make these trades would have been $45,800 in our account. With access to a mature retirement fund, this amount of money would be accessible to many retirees and may be a viable way to create additional monthly income, especially if you can afford to trade multiple contracts. This wheel strategy worked well because the SPY consistently increased. But let's explore what happens when the market doesn't cooperate with this trading strategy in part 2 of this video. If we can master managing trades when the market isn't rising consistently, that's the key to repetitive cash flow and continued wealth. If you're liking this content and you want to continue to follow how the wheel strategy materializes, please subscribe and hit the notification bell after you subscribe so you're notified when I drop new videos. Please like the video or dislike. I'd love to hear your comments. All interaction counts. As always, thanks for your time, as I know you could be any other place right now. Take care.